What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Morsy here. We're at the community garden up in the Bronx, New York. Just wanted to come chill here for a second, take a little break before we get back in the studio. I'm gonna teach you little tricks, specifically on percussion. Shout out to Scratch. Welcome to the humble abode. All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Morsy. We're at my studio right now up in the Bronx. Just had a little garden relaxation session. So now we go into the studio to get it done. All right, so today's lesson, what we're gonna talk about is percussion. Now, a lot of songs, if you notice, sometimes you're missing something like that flavor, that extra touch. Probably it's percussion. Usually I'll just take a sample, from my big library, but today we're gonna keep it original. I'm gonna use something from the house. You know what? We're gonna use this. Why not? This is actually from my dirty clothes. Let's get started. I'm gonna take my trusty microphone. I'm gonna make a new track. Hit record on it. Done one. Cool. Right. So. I think we got enough over there. Well, I need the headphones for that. Cool. So I just had a little fun with my dirty clothes pail. Now we're gonna boost it up. So the trick to recording stuff, you always want to record low because you could always make things louder. When you have things too loud, it's gonna get distorted. You can't make lower. So record low. You could always make things louder. Cool. So now, track that I just sampled, which has a bunch of little drums, and I'm gonna take my favorite sound that I like in there, and I'm gonna sample it. So I make a new MIDI track, and within the MIDI track, I dragged the simpler. You just take simpler, drag it right in, and then take your sample and drag it right on top of it. And now, you make like a bunch of MIDI notes. You could do the shortcut by hitting Shift, Command, M. All right, and I got my little double click on it. Got my MIDI notes. Pretty low, so I'm gonna make it a little loud. All right. So later, what's cool about using simpler, you could actually change the key. And so it doesn't matter. Let's say my drum sample that I just took, or my percussion sample, let's say it's not on key. We're gonna fix that later. But right now, I just wanna take the sound and record it. So now I'm gonna play the session and hear where I wanna play the sound. And I'm actually gonna record it while I do it. See, now what's so cool, I could pick anything I want. Any piece on the keyboard note. I'm gonna press record. Alright, quick, so these are MIDI notes right now. Got the MIDI notes going, and they're really low. So I'm gonna fatten this up. I'm gonna throw in my little magic that I was using earlier, the Fab filter, with some EQing. Copy it, I'm gonna paste it into that simpler track. And just so I don't get confused, I like to name all my stuff. A little shortcut to naming your stuff is Command R. And you can name it. We're gonna call it Percussion 1. Perc 1. Now another little trick I like to do, I add a bunch of stereo. I got a little stereo audio effects rack that I like to throw in. It's a widener. Makes things a little wider. All right, starting to hear it. Now I'm gonna take a little EQ the highs up a bunch, take some of the lows out. It's important to take out lows in your drums. You want to when you have your bass and when you have your kick, those have so many lows, it's hard to let other stuff breathe. So what I like to do is take out a bunch of lows from everything else and focus more on mids and highs for something like a percussion, specifically this high percussion, because that's the sound I'm looking for. Alright. Now I'm getting in closer to get it nice and tight. It's very interesting. I like the fact that I could like sample stuff from my bedroom and get a little creative. So I'm going to copy and paste. Alright, so what I'm trying to do right now, if you noticed, I'm taking the notes and I'm kind of moving it a little bit forward or back. One of the cool things about percussion is you kind of want to give that live feeling. And yeah, I did record it live, but I actually use it as a sample. So now I have to kind of re-give that live feeling again. So the trick is try to move it a little left and a little right. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes it doesn't work perfectly. Sometimes it does. All right, so now I just pressed on consolidated. The shortcut for consolidating is Command J. All right, and now turning the loop on, stretching it across. This is going to be my little percussion one. All right, start from the beginning of the track. All right, so the release on this is pretty short and I want to make it longer. So I turn up the release all the way. And I'm going to add some reverb. So I already have 2 return channels that I always do in every session. It's a reverb I use for the first return, return A, and a return B I always have like a delay. Just quick shortcuts. Instead of adding a reverb plugin or a simple delay on every track, you actually save more CPU space by throwing it in a return. So return A, I'm turning up. So that's not bad, not bad. And actually, I want this really loud, so I'm gonna add maybe a limiter to just boost it way up. And over here, you know what? Actually, this right now, automatically, Simpler always puts it on -12, the volume. I like to put it right back to 0 and turn this down. So, there we go. There we go, baby. That's how I like it. Now I want to add a little of the other samples that I have. So let's see. Little shortcut I do, I just duplicate what I just did, the percussion, so I don't have to redo all that I just did. And I'm going to call this Perc 2. And within Perc 2, I have the simpler. I'm going to find the sample of me doing something else. We'll see what happens. Not bad. Alright, let's use this. I'm going to take it, same thing I did. I'm going to highlight Perc 2 and just take the sample, drag it right in. Booyah! So now we got this part of the sample in here. All right, now I want to try to figure out where I want to put this. Not bad. All right, I think we got it right there. So now that I found where I kind of want to place this, I'm gonna try to get it looped up and precisely on point. I'm gonna press again, Command J to consolidate the space I want, which is from here to here. and I'm gonna loop it. So we turn the loop on, and we stretch it out. So not bad, not bad. So now that we got my percussion going, I think I'm gonna add another percussion under this to make it full and like pop. You want things to like really pop out in house tracks, specifically this track, at least for the feeling I want to give. Let's take this, copy and paste. All right, I'm gonna take this, consolidate again. Save your CPU, consolidate, and just loop stuff instead of copying and pasting a million times. I call this perc 3, I guess. We're gonna have a lot of layers, make this stuff pop. And we're also gonna pan them a little bit. Do it like 20% to the right and 20. Let's do this one this way. We'll play around with it. I'm gonna copy some of these. 1, 2. Now what's cool about Ableton 9 is right here on the new EQ8, you can curve directly to where you want and make it pop a little. All right, nice. So I'm gonna lower this a lot. I don't know if you noticed, but I like to lower my stuff all the way down, just so it blends, and then later I can make it way louder when I do the mastering. And now, there's always the trouble of, after getting creative and doing all this, doing composition, and making it where you don't want the same sound playing every single time. You kind of want to take a little things out here and there, just so it kind of blends in. Specifically for like the breakdown part, like right here. Completely. Maybe not. So next, we're gonna do a fourth percussion. We'll call it perc 4. All right. So I did the same thing. I just made a new MIDI track. This was the original doo-doom that I just sampled from my garbage clothes. My clothes. All right. So I'm gonna take the conga and I want to put it in key. I think that's the key right there. Double it. And this should lock right in here. Alright, I'm going to lower this so it fits into the track. And I might pan it a little, maybe 20%, 20 to the right. Oops. Alright, and I'm going to copy and paste the same sidechain and EQing, and I might EQ it a little more depending. So I just pasted it. So now it's perc 4 is in. Maybe I do 10% instead. I think we're good here, so I'm going to consolidate this. We're going to turn on the loop, drag it through, and we'll hear how it sounds. So it's almost there. I kind of want to blend it in a little more. I'm gonna fix the detuning and the transpose just so it's precise. Sometimes it's hard to figure out the key of a track. I recommend just feeling it. If you feel it, hey, enjoy it. Most likely you'll be in key. Feel the music. All right. Now, because I like a lot of stereo, I'm gonna also take the stereo rack that I used earlier for the first percussion and throw it, I'm gonna copy and paste it right into here, into to perk 4. Detune. Alright. So now, because I like the perk 4 to be more towards the right speaker, I'm going to do perk 3 more towards the left speaker, just so you get that good stereo feeling. It's important to get a little stereo in your music. You want it to be bigger, give it that little stereo effect. All right. So there you have it. I blended everything. We sampled a bunch of percussions, mixed it all into the live session. Shout outs to my homies out in Houston with the Bone Bone Party. This is a new remix that I'm releasing with them. Peace out.